In series expansion, we have learnt about Taylor series. Now we are going to discuss a most important series, or you can say a most important theorem named after Lorentz. Actually, it is called Lorentz series, and in this lecture, first of all, we will know about the Lorentz series, and after that, we will know its proof. And finally, we will give some illustrative example to explain this theorem, which is in fact Lorentz theorem. So first of all, we have to know what is Lorentz expansion or Lorentz series. Uh, in fact, this video was recorded by me previously, but due to some technical fault, the sound was not recorded. So I am just repeating it. So the whole lecture is written here. So that will be that will create some inconvenience to you, but I feel you will not mind it, and hope you will understand everything which I would like to convince you. So see this statement. The Lorentz expansion is what? First of all, we will see in this statement. In fact, Lorentz expansion states that if f of z is analytic in the interior and on the boundary of the circular ring R between concentric circles C1 and C2 having center at Z0, then for all Z in R, f of z will be equal to this series. And what is this series? This is summation over n, that is from n equal to 0 to infinity an z minus z0 to the power n plus summation n equal to 1 to n equal to infinity a minus n z minus z0 to the power minus n. And in this expression, what is this an and what is this a minus n? This has been defined here. Actually, an is equal to 1 over 2 pi I integral in anti-clockwise sense. See this arrow sign. This represents the anti-clockwise or counter-clockwise sense of integration along the circle C1 f of w dw over w minus z0 to the power n plus 1. Here n is actually 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. Actually in this expression, this w is actually the value of z, and that is, this is a point z equal to w, and this lies on the circumference of the circle C1. And a minus n is defined in this way. This is 1 over 2 pi integral along C2 in anti-clockwise sense f of w dw over w minus z0 to the power minus n plus 1, and in this expression n is from 1 to infinity, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Actually in this expression, this point z equal to w lies on the circle C2. So what this statement actually says, you can say there are two circles. Let us say this is a circle and this is another circle. This is circle C1 and this is circle C2, and both are concentric, and here is the center which is Z0, and Z0 is the common center of both, and our function f of z is analytic on the circumference of this circle C1 and C2, and also at all points between these two circles, that is this ring shaped region which is I have called R. In this region actually the function f of z is analytic, and if it is analytic in this region, just I am showing it by this shaded region. So in this shaded region function f of z is analytic, and if it is analytic in this region, then actually the function f of z may be expanded in this way. In fact, this statement is known as Lorentz theorem or Lorentz expansion or series. In fact, this expression defined in A1, which is called Lorentz series, can be expressed in another way. See here, I have just mentioned it, that f of z may be expressed as summation n equal to minus infinity to plus infinity an z minus z naught to the power n. Here, in fact, an is defined as, here an is in fact capital An, and this is 1 over 2 pi integral along C f of w dw by w minus z naught to the power n plus 1. And in this expression, n is 0, plus minus 1, plus minus 2, and so on. And in fact, what is this circle C? Actually, this circle C is actually a circle lying between C1 and C2. As you have seen that these are the circles C1 and C2, and here C is a circle lying between these two circles. And we can express Lorentz series in this way too. So this is the statement, you should remember it. And now we will actually see the proof of this theorem. And for the proof, we will actually see the concept of the previous classes which you have already studied. And let us see first of all. These are the two circles C1 and C2. Now, you know, in accordance with the statement, the function f of z is analytic on the boundary of C1 and C2 and also in this region. That is in this shaded region, the function f of z is analytic. Now, let us join these two circles by a cross cut, or you can say by a scissor cut. See this figure, these are the scissor cuts, and by this scissor cut we join these two circles. And you know, if these two circles will be joined by the scissor cut, in that condition we can apply Cauchy integral formula for the doubly connected region, because you know the doubly connected region now becomes the simply connected region after joining by a cross cut. So in this condition, after joining the two circles by this scissor cut, we can apply the Cauchy integral formula for this doubly connected region. And what will be that expression? That is, for Cauchy, using Cauchy integral formula, we can write f of z equal to what? That will be 1 over 2 pi integral along C1 f of w dw by w minus z plus. And see, when you traverse the circle C1, the sense of rotation is what? Actually, the sense of rotation is actually anti-clockwise sense. And when we go to the circle C2 through this cross cut, see, actually the circle C2 is traversed in clockwise sense. So here I have shown on the second integral the sign of arrow in clockwise sense. And so the expression will be integral along C2 f of w dw by w minus z. And you know, if we will change the sense of rotation from clockwise to anti-clockwise, the sign of integral will be reversed. So we can write, by taking the integral in anti-clockwise sense, minus sign here. So we can write this the expression for f of z by using the Cauchy integral formula for this doubly connected region as f of z equal to 1 over 2 pi I integral along C1 in counterclockwise sense f of w dw by w minus z, and minus integral along C2 in counterclockwise sense f w dw by w minus z. We can write it. And in this expression in RHS there are in fact two integrals, and let us consider the first integral is denoted by fa of z and the second integral with minus sign is represented by FP object. Actually, FA object, this subscript A is for the word analytic. Actually, this is called analytic part of this function F object, and this P is this P stands actually for the principal part, and so this Lorentz series will have, actually you can see further that this series will have two parts. First one will be its uh, the first part will be actually the FA object, and second will be FP object. Now, first of all, we will evaluate the first integral, that is FA of Z. I would like to evaluate it, and for evaluating this integral, see this figure which I have just mentioned here. Here are in fact two circles C1 and C2, and for evaluating the function FA object, we consider that the point W is lying on the circle C1. See this figure. W is at the circumference of the circle C1. And we take a point Z in the region R, that is between the region C1 and C2, we take a point Z. And you can see, if we join the point W and the point Z from the origin, see here in this complex plane I have shown that x-axis is along the horizontal direction, and this is in fact imaginary axis where I have mentioned IY. And let us join the point W and Z from the origin, and also this is the center, common center of both circles, and it is also joined. You can see from this figure that if we want to evaluate the length of the line between Z0 and Z, what will be this? This will be actually modulus of Z minus Z0. So in vector form, you can say this line actually represents Z minus Z0. And if we want to evaluate the length of the line joining the point Z and W, what will be this? You can see from vector rule of addition, this will be actually W minus Z, and sense will be from Z equal to Z to Z equal to W. So for evaluating the first part of the integral, that is FA of Z, we take two considerations. First of all, we take the point Z equal to W at the circumference of the circle C1 and an arbitrary point Z in the region R, which is in fact an annular region or a ring-shaped region between the circles C1 and C2. And from this figure, you can see the modulus of Z minus Z0 will be what? This will be actually the length of this line, which I am just showing you in a deep sense. And W minus Z, this is represented W minus Z, not W minus Z. But if we want to find the length, or you can say radius of circle C1, what will be that? That will be modulus of W minus Z0. And from figure you can see this modulus of W minus Z0, which is actually the radius of circle C1, will be greater than the modulus of Z minus Z0. So in this case, we can easily say that when the point W lies on the circumference of the circle C1, in that condition, modulus of Z minus Z0 will be less than modulus of W minus Z, as you have seen from that figure. And so the ratio Z minus Z0 over W minus Z0 in modulus form will be smaller than 1. And now to evaluate the integral defined by FA of Z, first of all we have to find this 1 over W minus Z. 1 over w minus z, you can easily write it 1 over w minus z minus z minus z naught. It is also clear from that figure, or algebraically you can say this z naught will cancel out, and in the denominator there will be simply w minus z. Now let us take this factor w minus z naught as a common factor, and what will remain then? The first term will be 1 and the second term will be z minus z naught over w minus z naught. Now let us take this factor 1 minus z naught by w minus z naught in the numerator, and in that condition this will be 1 minus z naught by w minus z naught whole to the power minus 1. Now since z minus z naught by w minus z naught is less than 1, and so we can expand this. In fact, you can say we can take a binomial expansion. You know, in fact, 1 minus x to the power minus 1 is what? This is 1 plus x square and plus so on. So you can write this equal to 1 over w minus z into 1 plus z minus z naught by w minus z naught. This is at the place of x, and here I have already mentioned it, and this is z minus z naught by w minus z naught square and so on. Now let us multiply this equation 2 by a factor 1 over 2 pi I into f of w, and then integrate term by term with respect to w along the circle C1 in anti-clockwise sense. So fa of z, you know, this is in fact 1 over 2 pi I integral along C1 in anti-clockwise sense fw dw by w minus z. I have multiplied this factor by this and integrated along the circle C1 in anti-clockwise sense for with respect to w, and we know that this integral is actually what? This is actually fa of z, and so this will be equal to, now in RHS each term will be integrated with respect to w after multiplication by 1 over 2 pi f of w. You can see the first term is what? The first term is 1 over w minus z naught. So this will be 1 over 2 pi I fw dw by w minus z naught. And the second term is what? This is in fact z minus z naught divided by w minus z naught ka whole square. So what will be the second term? The second term will be z minus z naught over 2 pi integral in anti-clockwise sense along C1 fw dw by w minus z naught to the power 2. And similarly, the third term z minus z naught whole square will be constant because we are integrating with respect to w. So this term is taken as a constant factor and it is taken out of the integral, and so the third term is integral along C1 fw dw by w minus z naught to the power 3 and so on. And as we know from the statement of Lorentz series, this coefficient an is defined as 1 over 2 pi fw dw by w minus z naught to the power n plus 1. So if we put n equal to 0, what will be this? Actually we will in that condition we will get a naught, and a naught will be what? This will be in fact 1 over 2 pi fw dw by w minus z naught, because n is 0, so here power will be 1, and you can see this is actually the first term this is actually this term 1 over 2 pi fw dw by w minus z naught. So the first integral in RHS is simply equal to a naught. Now let us put n equal to 1. If we will put n equal to 1, see here, then this will be 1 by 2 pi integral along C1 fw dw by w minus z naught to the power 2. And see here, actually except z minus z naught, the remaining factor is actually 1 by 2 pi integral along C1 fw dw by w minus z naught whole square. So we can write this a1, and so this is a1, and the remaining factor is z minus z naught. So this is a1 into z minus z naught. Similarly, you can take n equal to 2, and if we will take n equal to 2, here will be w minus z to the power 3, and so 1 over 2 pi integral fw dw by w minus z naught to the power 3, this will be written a2. So this is a2, and the remaining factor is z minus z naught to whole square. So in compact form, you can write this function fa of z as summation over n equal to 0 to infinity an z minus z naught to the power n. You can check this. If you will put n equal to 0, you will get the first term. If you will put n equal to 1, you will get the second term. If you will put n equal to 2, you will get the third term. And in this way, this series may be written in compact form like this. So you have seen how I have evaluated the first part of the integral, that is analytic part. Fa of z is analytic part of that series, and now our aim is to evaluate in fact the another integral in the RHS of that equation. And in fact another integral has been denoted by the symbol fp of z, and this fp of z is evaluated here. And for the evaluation of fp of z, what we will do, remember, when I have to evaluate fa of z, in that condition we have taken the point z equal to w on the circumference of the circle C1. Now to evaluate this fp of z, let us consider the point z barabar w is situated on the circumference of the circle, this C2. And again we consider an arbitrary point z equal to z in the region R. The region R, which is an annular region, you know this is a ring-shaped region between the circle C1 and C2. So here is the point Z. Again, we have shown this these two circles in an argent plane or a complex plane, shown here. The horizontal axis is actually the real axis, which I have denoted by x, and the vertical axis is actually imaginary axis, which is represented by iy. And now let us again join the origin to the point w, z and z naught. And from this figure again you can see that the length of the line joining the point z equal to z and z equal to z naught, that is this center. This will be actually modulus of z minus z naught. Modulus of z minus z naught. And in vector form we can write it that this is oz minus oz naught, and that will be z minus z naught. And again the length of the line joining the point z equal to z and z equal to w. See this figure. This will be actually z modulus of z minus w. And if we want to find the length of the line joining the point z equal to z naught, that is center of the two circles, and the point w which lies on the circumference of C2. So this length is actually the radius of the second circle C2, and that will be in fact equal to modulus of W minus Z naught. It is obvious from this figure that the length modulus of Z minus Z naught is greater than the modulus of W minus Z naught. So when the point Z equal to W is situated on the circumference of the point circumference of the circle C2, in that condition the W modulus of W minus Z naught will be smaller than modulus of Z minus Z naught. So see here, I have mentioned it. The modulus of W minus Z naught is less than mod of Z minus Z naught, or you can say mod of W minus Z naught over mod of Z minus Z naught is smaller than 1. Again, we will in fact expand this factor 1 over W minus Z to evaluate that integral. And you can write it from the figure, or you can also write algebraically that W minus Z may be written as W minus Z naught minus Z minus Z naught. In fact, this Z naught will cancel out and the remaining factor will be W minus Z, which is this. Now here we take the factor 1 over, we take the factor Z minus Z naught as a common factor. So this will be minus 1 over Z minus Z naught, and you can see at the place of this second factor there will be 1, and at the place of first term that will be actually minus W minus Z naught divided by Z minus Z naught. And if we will take it in the numerator, the power will be minus 1. Again, we expand this by using the formula of binomial expansion 1 minus x to the power minus 1. This is actually 1 plus x square and plus so on. So this is minus 1 over Z minus Z naught into 1 plus W minus Z naught by Z minus Z naught plus W minus Z naught by Z minus Z naught whole to square, and so on. Again, we will multiply this equation 4 by the same factor 1 over 2 pi I into Fw, and again we will integrate term by term with respect to W, but now we will integrate along the circle C2 in anti-clockwise sense. And so as in the RHS is 1 over W minus Z, and we have to multiply it by 1 over 2 pi F of W, and then we integrate it in anti-clockwise sense. So this will be the first the term in LHS, and you know this is actually FP of Z. FP of Z is this much. And now see the terms in RHS. You can see the first term is what? The first term in RHS is in fact minus 1 over Z minus Z naught. Second term will be minus W minus Z by Z minus Z naught whole square. Let us take this negative sign in LHS, and so we can write first of all Fp of Z is equal to this much, and Z minus Z naught whole square will be actually the constant factor because we are integrating with respect to W. And so see these expressions, just I have multiplied each term in RHS by this and integrated along the circle C2 in anti-clockwise sense with respect to W. Now we have defined the coefficient A minus n in the statement of Lorentz series. And how it was defined? It was in fact A minus n was defined as 1 over 2 pi integral along C2 fw dw by w minus z naught whole to the power minus n plus 1. And we can write it, if we take this denominator in numerator, this will be simply w minus z naught to the power n minus 1. So if we put n equal to 1, n equal to 1, so if n is equal to 1, then a minus n will be a minus 1. And see this expression, if we take this n equal to 1, so w minus z to the power 0, and that will be 1. So the term will remain 1 over 2 pi I integral fw dw. And so you can see the first term will be what? The first term will be a minus 1 z minus z naught to the power minus 1. In similar manner, you can see when we will take n equal to 2, then here w minus z will contain the power minus 1, power 1, not minus 1, 2 minus 1, but that will be 1. So the second term will be a minus 2 z minus z minus z naught to the power minus 2, and so on. In this way, you can see this fp of z can be written in compact form as summation n equal to 1 to infinity a minus n z minus z naught to the power minus n. And so we have just evaluated both of the integrals, which was actually in the equation in the beginning. I have written, see here, actually that equation was here we have mentioned it. See this here, this is actually equation 1. In fact, I have assumed this integral as fa of z and this integral as fp of z, and we have just now evaluated these two integrals. So if we will substitute the value of fa of z and fp of z in this equation 1, we will get f of z, and you can see what will be that f of z. After substituting the values of these two integrals, what will be this? So this fa of z will be actually equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity an z minus z naught to the power n plus summation n 1 to infinity a minus n z minus z naught to the power minus n. And you can see this is actually a Lorentz series, which I have mentioned in the statement. So we have proved the statement of Lorentz series. Actually, as I have told you, the Lorentz series has actually two parts. And so this is a very remarkable fact that this Lorentz series will have two parts. The first part is denoted by fa of z, and it is defined as summation n 0 to infinity an z minus z naught to the power n. Actually, as I have told you, this letter A stands for the word analytic. So actually this is called analytic part of the Lorentz series. And the second part is fp of z, and it is equal to, in fact, summation n equal to 1 to n equal to infinity a minus n z minus z to the power minus n. Actually this is called principal part. Actually this principal part is most important when in further lecture we will discuss the calculus of residues. We will see the importance of this principal part of the Lorentz series. In fact, the Lorentz series, as I have told you, consists of two parts. The first part is analytic and the second part is actually called the principal part. you can see this analytic part of the expansion. Actually, this part converges everywhere inside the circle C1. I have just mentioned here, this FA object converges everywhere inside C1. And on the other hand, this FP object, this converges everywhere out of C2. And one thing is very important, that if f of z is analytic within C2, if f of z is analytic within C2, then fp of z will be equal to 0. And in this condition, actually the Laurent expansion becomes Taylor expansion. The reason is that in this condition you can see this an will be simply equal to fn of z naught over factorial n. And so you can see this is actually the coefficient in Taylor expansion. And so if f of z is analytic within the interior circle C2, in that condition the principal part of Lorentz series is 0, it vanishes, and in that condition Lorentz series becomes Taylor series. So this was all about the Lorentz series. Now in the second lecture we will discuss some of its illustrative examples to clarify the concept of this Lorentz series.